We work one-on-one with you to make sure your auto, home, business is protected by a quality insurance company. That's why we work with Ohio Mutual Insurance Group. We know you can trust Ohio Mutual to protect what matters most to you and your family. Once you see how Ohio Mutual cares for your needs, you'll trust them as well. Contact us today to get the best coverage from the best companies like Ohio Mutual. Hi, this is Lisa Griffin of Eastern Connecticut Savings Bank. Well, some banks offer checking account rewards, and some banks rebate ATM withdrawal fees. At Eastern, we say, why choose? Check out our Kasasa checking accounts and find out how you can get both. For more information, visit bankeasternct.com, call us at 860-889-7381, or stop by any of our branch locations today. Eastern Connecticut Savings Bank with offices in Norwich, Jewett City, and Plainfield. Member FDIC. Do you, Kasasa? It's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Your community radio. Live from Main Street.
Mike Minarski and Rich Wasilick in the morning and 80s all day and night.
SNSN.
Your community radio.
Live from Main Street.
Mike Minarski and Rich Wasilick in the morning and 80s all day and night.
SNSN.
Well, why don't you speak first?
Morning. That's the extent of it.
Huh?
Good morning.
Okay, we're gonna move this up a bit. Try it now.
Good morning.
Wow, there you are. Okay. So how are you?
Good. How are you?
We have a big morning. We have another one of the candidates that are running in November coming in this morning. Farouk Rajab. I hope I pronounced his name right.
I think so.
Rajab.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll be in this morning about 9:15. So he's going to be running against Heather Summers, who is the incumbent, looking for term numero cuatro.
Yes.
So we'll see if he brings in donuts.
I'm thinking maybe some seafood, like.
Oh yeah.
You gotta up the ante here.
That's right. Yeah, maybe a little cracked crab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Some clams.
Do you like? Are you a seafood fan?
I am a huge seafood fan. Well, I grew up down there, like on the water, and yeah.
What's your favorite seafood?
It's hard to say because I like it all. I love lobster, obviously. Yep. Clams on the half shell. What raw oysters? Oh my God. Oh, so good.
It's like snot.
It's funny. We go down to Sandy Point, and we clam while we're down there.
Yep.
And we like literally sit on the beach and open up clams and eat them. It's so
really?
Good. Yeah. Like,
no. Oh,
freshest ever. Oh God, yes. So good.
No.
So good.
No, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I like clams, but I like fried whole belly clams.
Oh, I do too.
That's like my
favorite.
what
I've noticed though?
The
last few years, the whole belly clams aren't as big as they used to be. Like they're not as good as they used to be.
Yeah, they're all on Jenny Craig.
Something.
Jenny Craig even a thing, or are they done?
Oh no, I think that's still a thing.
Really?
I think so. I think so.
I like scallops, but there are some places you got to be careful
because they use monkfish.
Yes,
stamp them.
Yes. And next thing you know, we have sea scallops.
Yes.
They come out, they're big, but it's really monkfish.
But they're
pretty good.
It's actually good.
I know.
It's actually good.
Has that same kind of texture.
Yeah.
You know,
you can actually use monkfish to make like a lobster bisque too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
What about? I like the way shrimp scampi tastes.
Yes.
But every time I get it, it's more like shrimp skimpy.
Oh.
There's like nothing to it. It's like you get a little tray of it, and it's like 2 bites, and it's done. And call it $14.99.
Yeah. I can't do seafood with tomato sauce. For some reason, that I don't like that.
Okay, so shrimp and pasta is not your thing.
If it's like a garlic wine,
Okay,
some
all right.
lemon kind of
Yeah.
sauce, but not like a red sauce. No.
What about
Although I'll
So-
eat calamari and
what about then
use
just
the
like
marinara.
what about like shrimp and just dipping in regular like
Cocktail sauce,
yeah.
but not like a
Oh.
tomato. Like bouillabaisse. My mother used to make bouillabaisse at Christmas, and ugh.
Can you eat raw tomatoes?
Oh God, yeah.
Okay, see now Melissa can't. She won't eat raw tomatoes. She'll eat cooked tomatoes all day long. But she
My
will not eat
husband's the
raw.
same.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it a texture thing? It's got to be.
I who knows? It's a pain in the ass thing.
I think mostly
He doesn't do vegetables.
I kind of wonder if a lot of food thing is it a taste thing or a texture thing.
I think it's well for my husband. I know he didn't have it when he was a kid.
Yep.
Like he did a lot of fending for himself, so he didn't eat vegetables. So
Okay.
now he eats corn. That's it.
Really? Sounds like my
And
dad.
iceberg lettuce
Okay.
with no salad dressing. So
So
basically,
he'll just like have a head of lettuce and just take a bite out of it and start crunching.
no, not quite that bad, but like I cut it up like
Mhm.
and put some cucumbers with it. Maybe he'll do a cucumber sometimes,
Okay.
red onion, but no
See-
salad dressing.
See, now I can do cucumbers with no salad dressing. I can do tomatoes with no salad dressing. Lettuce, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
No, you know what I started doing? I love it. You take a head of romaine lettuce and you slice it like lengthwise in half, and then
Yep.
I put a little Caesar dressing on it, and then I put it on the grill. It is so good. It's so good.
So Dave says I can't eat beans of any type. It's the texture.
Lima beans I cannot do.
Really?
That's one of the only things I do not eat is lima beans. And
Kidney beans.
it's a texture thing. I can eat kidney beans.
It's kind of the same texture though.
No, they're a little
No?
too
Different?
mealy inside. Yeah.
Mealy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a fan.
Not even what about green beans?
Oh, I love green beans.
I love green beans. Yeah.
I eat them raw or cooked or
Yeah. Right in the ocean, just pick up the green beans and start
Yeah,
eating them
why
next to
not?
the
Why
next to
not?
the.
next to the clams.
Ugh.
I
That's
like red
awful.
beets. Red beets are good.
That's like paint.
Really?
Yeah, beets will stain anything.
Well, yeah, but
That's like a superfood.
they taste good.
Here I am, the fat guy, talking about omega 3s and superfoods and how delicious it is. Oh, give me a Reese's cake. I couldn't eat that. A Reese's cake.
No,
It'd be too rich.
Yeah.
I can't eat.
too sweet.
I would rather have a big solid block of beef cooked in front of me than a cake
Oh, me too.
with some potatoes on the side. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I can't do the.
Yeah, I'm not big
Can't
on
do that.
sweets.
No,
No. Unless it's like, it has to be something really good.
Mhm.
And then I'll eat it.
like what?
But like to pick up a package of cookies or something, I don't eat those. Like I'll make Toll House chocolate chip cookies and I'll eat
yeah,
a couple of those. But
brownies.
not pre-made. I'll do brownies, but I like a dark chocolate kind of thing, not out of the box.
Okay,
Mm.
is that a girl thing? The whole dark chocolate thing. Are you of the
No.
of the thing of like, oh, it's heart healthy?
No, I
I'll
eat dark
eat
chocolate
this.
because I like dark chocolate.
Cacao.
I've always liked it.
My mother liked dark chocolate.
Mm.
That was like her thing.
Yeah.
If I got a Hershey bar or somebody should be Hershey's dark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she liked that. How did we get from seafood to
I don't
chocolate
know.
bars?
I don't know.
It's wild.
That's weird.
It's just these conversations the way they go. So, all right, who's in here with us this morning? No trolls allowed. No lurkers. That's creepy. You just come into a chat room and just kind of like, look, I'm not saying no.
I used to do that.
It's creepy.
I used to do that.
Dude, it's creepy.
And then one day I was like,
Then
hi.
then it's like, you mean here or
Yeah.
just? Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's creepy. Now look at you. You're here in the
Well,
studio.
So you used to share like your life. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy is so freaking annoying.
Who, me?
Yeah, because it kept
You thought it was annoying?
Yes, because it
Wow.
kept popping up in all these different groups. So one day I clicked on it. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I think it was with Paul.
Yeah.
And it was pretty interesting. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll leave this on while I'm doing my stuff. Yeah. And then I realized, oh my God, he's not on. Like, wait, what's today? Like, yeah.
See, you missed us.
Yeah.
See, that's what happens.
When you went to Disney, I was like, what the heck? What am I going to do in the morning?
I know people that just turn the show on and just leave it. And they don't necessarily sit and watch us.
Yeah.
But they'll listen to us.
Well, that's what I usually do in the morning, unless it's something that amuses me, then I have to say something. What?
Not about you.
Oh.
Dave goes, he's still annoying.
Well, yeah, kind of. Sometimes.
Back off, people. Back off. Let's see. Trying to think what else is going on today. So we've had a lot of candidates on already. You brought in Ann Dauphiné.
Yep.
We've had Heather Summers. We had Brian Lanou on Friday. And today we have Farouk Rajab, who's the Democratic candidate. Be on at 9:15.
Yep.
We haven't had, and forgive me, but I have no idea who's running against Brian.
I don't know.
From what I understand, it's a lady from Preston. That's all I know.
I haven't seen, but I really haven't looked.
See, Cindy just said that's what I do. Turn the show on at work and listen while I'm working. Do 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 do. I like his figures like the dwarfs, do 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 do. Whistle while you work. What? Oh God, Dave, you didn't see those, did you? Oh God. She goes, thank God you didn't see my wrestling TikToks. I had another account where I did like wrestling stuff.
I hate wrestling.
I love it.
Hate it.
I love it. It's like a guilty pleasure. It's a story. It's all it is. See, if you look at it as cringy, it's cringy.
It's cringy.
But it's they're stories.
No.
Yes, it's exactly what they do. They're telling stories, and and sometimes it's short-term storytelling, and sometimes it's long-term storytelling.
Okay.
Not your thing.
You do you, boo-boo.
Dave, that's how you first found me, huh?
Is Dave into wrestling?
Oh, yeah.
No. Is he really? Dave.
Yeah. He just said it. He goes, live action soap opera. And right after that, Cindy says, it's a soap opera for men.
Oh,
it
there
really
you go.
is.
That explains it. That's why girls don't get it.
Huh?
That's why I didn't understand there was a story involved.
Let's see. I have to see who this user is, because when you come into the chat, one of the things, via Facebook
through the SNS, it's only through the SNSN one.
The news page.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to click that
to say they you
barnyard or whatever that is.
They can use your name or whatever.
Yeah.
So
it's probably Court.
It is.
See, I didn't even have to look.
You're a pro now. Look at you. Probably Court. Court Kenny says, good morning. Always enjoy your show when I can catch it.
Good morning, Court. I like Court.
I enjoy it when Court is on it.
I do too.
See?
I think he's great.
See, Court, you got fans,
Yeah.
He's like the voice of reason, you can't rattle him.
Yeah.
He's just very, very... Cindy said, I used to watch a lot of WWF when I was pregnant with my oldest. It helped alleviate my violent tendencies.
Oh, my.
Well, Cindy, you better start watching it again.
Violent tendencies while pregnant. Oh, my.
Sometimes she'll be sitting talking to Melissa, and then she'll say something, and she'll go, and like that, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna hit somebody.
Oh, fun. Fun times.
Yeah, so Who also? Yeah, I don't know who's running against Brian.
I don't know either.
No idea.
Let me look it up.
You know,
I don't know.
This is the last week. This is the last week.
Oh, thank God.
No, excuse me.
No, actually,
next week.
Yeah, this.
No. Where we do the one and done interviews.
Well,
like we'll invite any candidate that wants to come in. They want to talk their platform, and they're welcome to come in, and we'll interview them and talk to them and let them say what they want to say. It stays up on the internet, via podcast form, whether it's here on Facebook or it's on YouTube or Twitch or Twitter or wherever it may be. And no judgment, nothing like that, because that's not what we're here for. We're here to get information out to the constituents so they can make a good voting, what they feel is a good voting choice.
Oh, I have to read this because I don't know if that's somebody's opinion.
What?
Because it says Lanu running virtually unopposed in 45th.
I have to say, I haven't seen anything. Not even those silly road signs.
Oh, there is Preston resident Kayla Thompson.
Okay.
Is on the ballot as a Democratic challenger.
Yeah.
But party
nothing against her, but I haven't seen anything.
Well, no but party officials say she's just a placeholder candidate and isn't actively campaigning.
Well,
so she's gonna get votes with doing nothing, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Dave says we got to bring you to a wrestling show.
No.
Court says
not unless there's cocktails involved. Then I'll go.
All right, Dave. So basically, we got to get Victoria drunk,
and then I'll go
and take her to a show.
There you go.
Yeah, Dave and I'll be in the front seat. He'll be in the back seat. Go, wow, that's a great show.
It's funny you say that.
Just get her home.
I went out. My first husband. We went out with one of his friends, and we had gone down. I think we went to New London, and they were bar hopping, and of course, I had to drink with them, and I couldn't drink like they could. And they put me in the back seat of the truck on the way home, and I was laying down, and my husband purposely was hitting the brakes so I would roll off and fall on the floor. And I was like, I give, and I just laid on the floor.
You're a funny drunk, aren't you?
I am. I am. I'm very funny.
See, that's one thing I want to ask, like the candidates. Are you a funny drunk? It's probably not. That's not what we do here.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, I'd rather be funny than.
I think that's more of an off the air question.
Yeah.
If you feel like I would ask that to Heather. I would probably ask that to Brian because I know them decently enough.
Yeah.
To say, bet you're a funny drunk, aren't you? But I wouldn't ask that on here.
Right.
I mean, who knows? I may ask Mr. Rajab the same thing. Not here. It's like you're a funny drunk.
That'd be funny.
It'd be fun. You'd be a blast. That's not a bad thing.
I thought we weren't allowed to ask questions like that.
We don't. That wasn't not on the air.
That wasn't a pre-approved question.
No, it is not. We only ask the questions that are pre-approved from the context of what we are. Getting back to wrestling, Donna says wrestling was a big thing when we were kids. Donna, newsflash, it still is.
No.
It is. It is. Maybe not to you.
Well, I remember it being on TV all the time.
It's
like
on
the
TV
kids
more
talking
than
about it. Really?
There is pro wrestling on 7 days a week.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Yep, different companies, but it's on 7. You can find They have their own network.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a part of Peacock.
Oh.
The WWE network was a standalone thing. Then they put it on Peacock. So go to Peacock, WWE, and there you are.
No, thank you. I'll pass.
Donna says they used to have wrestling matches at Plainfield and Griswold High School, which is true. I remember going.
Like professional?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, back in the day, they didn't really wrestle in the big venues and stuff. They did a lot of. Matter of fact, it was a big fundraising thing. You could have different organizations. Yeah, like the WWE, which we know today.
WWF.
Well, back in the day, it was WWWF.
Yeah,
I
remember that.
Wrestling.
Yeah,
Federation,
I remember that.
See, now that is when they would book small venues like
Yeah.
The Knights of Columbus presents, or Grizzle High School had them. And I remember going to Grizzle High School and remember meeting Killer Kowalski.
Oh my.
Yeah. See, to you that may be nothing, but to me as a kid, I was scared to death. This guy had a hand that would cup my whole head.
Wow.
Yeah, it was something. Dave says I still have all my wrestling figurines dating back to 1981. See, it's a thing just because.
Okay.
So, like, all right, what is something that you like to do that you don't think anybody else does?
That I like to do?
Yeah, what is something like a hobby or something like that?
I don't know.
Well, see, let's just say you like knitting. No.
I scrapbook.
All right, scrapbook, right? I don't get it.
I garden.
Garden, okay. Scrapbooking, I don't get it.
Really?
Yeah, there's this. You see, listen to you. You go, really? Like you don't understand why I wouldn't like scrapbooking.
Well,
but I'm not sitting here going, I don't understand why you wouldn't like wrestling.
No, I'm not saying I don't understand why. I just, I don't particularly like it. Wrestling.
See? Well, I don't particularly like scrapbooking.
Okay. I didn't ask you to do it.
I didn't ask you to watch wrestling.
Yes, you did.
I did not.
Oh, you said, oh, Dave, come on, we'll take her to a show.
Well, that's one of those things that you ask somebody to go, you know damn well they're not going to go.
Oh, and if I went,
well, that would really be fun, though.
That would be in trouble.
I'd be like, oh, crap.
Then you'd be in trouble.
Dave said, oh, Joanne. Hey, Joanne, good morning. Nice to see you. Dave says WWE is the biggest supporter of Special Olympics Connecticut.
Wow, that's great.
See, no, that for Special Olympics, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. He just said something really funny. He said, imagine if we took you to an ECW show in the 90s. ECW stood for Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Oh.
Or they used hammers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
it was basically assault.
My oldest son likes to watch that, or he used to.
MMA?
Is
Cage
that
fighting?
The mixed martial
mixed martial arts. Yeah.
Yeah. That was disgusting. Like,
that's changed a lot.
Oh,
when it first came on the air and stuff, they have little guys against big guys, and they would literally get their asses kicked.
Yeah, it was bad.
There was one I remember, and I don't know why I remember this because it was brutal. I think there was one guy, and I never saw him again. His name is Gary Goodrich, and I think he was Canadian. But anyway, he was fighting against a guy that was relatively shorter than him, and he put him in this move, and then or in a hold where he's got him pinned down, and his head is like just stood up. He took his elbow, bam, 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 bam. All of a sudden, you start seeing them open up, and I'm like, oh my god, this is. Yeah. I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, it was kind of gross. And then they had women doing it too.
Like I said, it's assault. It's like a lot of it is.
Yeah.
Just,
yeah.
So, and then they had people that see now it's it's always been called mixed martial arts, and they have people that have different disciplines, right? Like jiu-jitsu and karate, taekwondo, wrestling. I mean actual Greco-Roman wrestling,
right?
But then they had back in the day, they had street fighters.
Yeah,
they had, and the street fighters would usually
they were scrappy.
But they would get their butts kicked. Then there were some people that would get in there that were like, they're nothing, and they would kick everybody's ass.
Right.
So yeah, it's
Taylor liked that.
Yeah. So it's weird. It's perception.
I was always afraid he was going to get into that.
Oh, you mean actually do it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was.
Was he that heavy watching? And
yeah. I think it was the Marine Corps got him into that, like all his buddies.
Well, it's a guy thing. That was a guy thing.
Oh God, yeah.
Before that, we would get together and watch Mike Tyson fights. And then we would all get mad because the Mike Tyson fight would last about 45 seconds, and we all just spent $50 watching this thing. And
that
it's like
pay-per-view. Yeah, I remember.
It's like, yeah, whatever.
People doing that.
Good morning, Lori Sorter. I see you in there. Mary Beth Malin, good morning. So you can't troll us and we won't know where you are.
He's got multiple devices here. And he's like,
it's funny too because I'm like, oh, you can see me. Click, gone. Good morning, Laura. No trolls allowed, folks. Come on in, say hi. Let us, know that you are there. Just because I like to know who's hanging out with us in the morning. Not because I'm going to put you on the spot or anything.
Although
like
we
that.
might.
Let me ask you, is it different for you being here in the studio than it is at home?
Yeah, because at home I'm in my pajamas, like doing things in the house, and the dogs are yapping. And
you should come here in your pajamas, just kind of hang out. We'll have pajama day.
That'd be fun.
You see, there you go.
We could do that for Christmas time because I have great Christmas pajamas.
Yeah, I'll have
Are we going to do a Christmas tree in here?
Where? We could do a Christmas tree.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'll bring you the perfect tree. I have a pencil tree. It won't take up much room.
Oh, awesome. No, that would be cool. We'd have to put it somewhere that would be on camera, though.
Well, we could put it in between your two chairs because it's like narrow.
Oh, and then the green screen, we could make it look like it's in Vienna.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
See, because
do some mountains and snow.
We could do that. you just
love Christmas.
Kind of marked out there for a second.
Christmas, I'm like, yeah, I'm a Christmas freak.
I got that from my mother. My mother was huge in Christmas. Yeah. She was that was her thing.
My mom was too. Yeah.
We had such a ghetto fab Christmas though every year. Every year was ghetto fabulous. Let me tell you. My mother used to, because we didn't. I mean, not like today's any different, but back then we had no money, or anything like that. So my mother would buy coloring books, and we would color pictures. And it was just a big activity we did every single year.
Yep.
And cut them out, and tape them to the wall.
Yep.
And we had Christmas decorations for days, right? And we had fun doing it. Another thing my mother would do is for an activity we would put together puzzles.
Yep.
And then flip them over. Well, actually, then she would put like a varnish or like a shellac on it or something,
so it'd stay together.
And then she would hang them up,
frame them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were so ghetto fabulous. It was funny.
I have a Santa Claus. I must have made it in nursery school or something, and then gave us like a face, and then you had to stick a beard on and cotton balls for eyebrows, and he had a hat. And my mother kept that thing.
Yeah.
And it's like 900 years old now. And I framed it last year and I hung it up. It's kind of cool to have those old things.
It is. I wish I had some of those pictures my mother colored still, but at the end of the year, at the end of Christmas, we would just
my mother saved.
Oh, we couldn't because we put too much tape on them. You couldn't take them off the wall,
Yeah. Oh, my mother was a saver. I have like that first lock of hair from when I got my first haircut.
Oh, really?
All that crap.
There's a difference between being a saver and a pack rat.
I'm like, I asked the boys because my mom passed away, and I had a bunch of this stuff, and I'm like, okay, so I have 3 sons. Who wants this? And I'd hold something up, and they're like, not me. And I'm like, okay, then it's going in the trash. Like, what are you gonna do with all that crap? I mean, she saved everything. I have every birthday card I ever got from the time I was born until I was 16 years old.
Really?
She saved every single one. And she saved like
my mother was like
a napkin and a paper plate from each birthday. And I mean, insane. And it's cool to look at like one time. Yeah. But my kids didn't want it, so I tossed most of it.
I think it's cool because like I inherited a lot of those things that are just in a box. And there's some things that my mom's been going 20 years now.
Yeah.
And there are things that I still haven't gone through.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like I'm not ready. Yeah. Because no matter what, that's one of those things that it's like you don't ever get over it. You just learn to live with it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
definitely.
So anyway, moving on. There are still boxes and stuff that I haven't, and I know that I'm going to look and I'm going, oh God, I remember this.
Yeah.
And like, they're like, oh, then I'll have to go to the graveside and talk to her. And
my grandmother had a lot of stuff that I landed up with, and like I don't even know who I have these beautiful photographs, and I have no idea who the people are because everybody's dead. So
that's what happens. Well, we're dead longer than we're alive. So
I guess so.
I have like in my center console, in my car, I actually have a picture of my grandmother on my dad's side, who I knew when I was a baby. Well, I mean, when I was like three or four, and then we moved to Connecticut, and that was it. But she actually gave a picture to my dad and wrote on it, "This is for Michael."
Oh wow!
And I just got it like 2 years ago.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, wow, really? So that was pretty interesting. I never knew my grandfather on my dad's side. I never knew either of my real grandfathers, to be honest with you.
My dad's parents came here from Greece, and my yaya refused to speak English. So there was a little bit of a disconnect there with my grandparents on that side.
It's all Greek to me.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's a reason why people say that. That is a difficult language.
It is. I know some words, but they're not words that I can say.
Opa.
No, I know some. I remember my dad saying those words.
I wonder sometimes if being Greek is a nationality or a cult.
It's a cult.
Okay, see now, there we go. Finally,
and it revolves around food.
Yeah, so
like really good food.
There's only some things I like. Like I can't even think of it. There's some good things that I like, but there's some things I don't get it. I mean,
I love it.
Y'all bake a quarter in bread. You bake quarters in bread, right? Yeah. And then if you eat it, right, either you're going to break a tooth.
Well, no. You're careful. You're careful.
No. You get somebody that's like, really, really, or you're going to choke because it's going to get caught in your esophagus.
No. Survival of the fittest.
Or the poorest because you're trying to get them quarters. I couldn't do that. Well, no, I mean, see, here it is. My daughter's mother is Greek.
Yeah.
And I tease him all the time. And she has even said that my life is my big fat Greek wedding.
Yeah.
She said that's her whole life.
Yeah.
But she's I mean, there's a heritage there.
Oh gosh, yeah.
There's so I mean that's I say, is it a cult or is it?
No, it's kind of a cult.
Yeah, but what I found is they're very, very rich and deep in their culture.
Yes.
More so than anything.
Yeah.
But if you're not Greek, they don't want you.
Yeah. Well, it's funny.
You imagine the Polish guy, coming into the family. It's like, you are not welcome here.
That was like my mother when she married my father. She's German, blonde hair, blue eyes. And she was like an anomaly. And all the family get-togethers, there was this blonde with blue eyes.
How'd that happen?
It didn't work well.
2 words: baby mama. That doesn't happen. So just to review what there's nothing to review because we're rambling this morning. We're just
we went from seafood to desserts
to Greek culture.
Greek culture.
God, we are well rounded.
Yep.
Go ahead. You're gonna say something.
No, it's funny because my mom was always like that. Like she made sure I took piano lessons and I took sailing lessons and I took riding lessons and I did this and I danced and she said you need to be well rounded. That was like her goal for me was to be well rounded. And I found that I did that with my kids as well. And it's nice that like my youngest one, he can walk into any room and talk to anybody about anything.
Are we talking Colby?
No, Parker, the youngest one.
Parker, okay.
The little one, yeah. Well, not little, but so he'll be always going to be my baby.
So I say to Rihanna all the time.
And he hates it.
You know what I call her? You know, I call Rihanna, and she's 15. She's gonna be driving, pretty soon. Little girl.
I call
Just call a little girl.
I call Parker my baby moose. Because he's gotten so tall and he's got these legs that are like 10 miles long. And he walks like a baby moose.
You imagine if being 13 years old and saying, hello, this is my son, baby moose.
Well, my oldest, who is now 31, I call baby boy. He will always be my baby boy. And he loves it.
My mother used to call me.
He loves it.
And she would call me all the time. And she knew it bothered me. Because she would do it in front of people just to annoy me. And she would say to me, Michael, tell Mrs. So-and-so what I would call you. Just shoot me now. Oh, look at this. We got a troll in here. Wow, they're going crazy. It's actually a really block user. Wow. That's the first time I'd ever seen an adult website placing spam.
Oh.
Yeah. Blocked them.
Because you're getting famous.
No. What's the wrong kind of famous that I'm looking at?
Like trickled over from your TikTok.
No, I don't do TikTok. Just maybe an upside down pineapple here and there. Polina goes seafood, chocolate, wrestling, MMA, Christmas, puzzles, and Greek culture.
There we go.
We are all over the place. We are out of control. And then pretty soon we're going to be talking to one of the candidates running for the 18th district senatorial race here in Connecticut.
Yes.
So, ta-da. That'll be happening in just about a few minutes. We expect the candidate to be here in about 9 minutes or so. What?
Nothing.
I'm excited. I mean, it'll be it's pretty cool. I've never met this gentleman, and it's kind of weird. I would feel bad for the guy because he's going to walk into a room for a couple of days. He's never met before. It's like to me that's nerve wracking. Not from you know what I mean. If I was to do that, I couldn't do that.
I think you get used to it.
Yeah, maybe so. Okay.
I remember when I do Toys for Tots at the first couple of years I did it, I'd have to go to events and I'd be like, what do I say? What do I do?
Right.
But you get used to it.
But it's like you coming in here. You had said,
right.
Are we gonna? What are we going to do? What are we going to talk about? What's going to happen? And what happened? Well, let's see. Seafood, chocolate, wrestling, MMA, Christmas, puzzles, and Greek culture.
There we go.
We've run the gamut this morning.
Right.
And on generalization.
Right.
So we've done that.
Right.
So don't doubt yourself.
Yeah.
Don't edit yourself.
Well, are you sure about that, Mike?
Well. All right, we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a minute as the Democratic candidate for the 18th district has arrived, and we're going to talk to Mr. Rajab. Did I say that right? Is it Rajab? You did. Ha! I did it right. All right, we're going to talk to Farouk Rajab in just a minute. Keep it right here. It's SNSN.
You buy better, much better, so much better with Burn. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better with Burn. You buy better with Burn. You buy better.
The Burns Agency knows your insurance needs can change with almost every season. The snowblowers get tucked away, and the motorcycles, boats, and jet skis come out to play. Give yourself a minute. Stop. Think about what new or changing exposures are happening to you. Then call the Burns Agency. Over the phone, in person, or online, we're here for all your policy needs. Or better yet, give us a chance to earn your business with our top-notch customer service, strong coverage options, and unbeatable pricing. The Burns Agency, proudly serving Eastern Connecticut since 1932.
Better, much better, so much better with Burn. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better with Burn. You buy better with Burn. You buy better.
Your community radio. Mike Minarski and Rich Wasilek in the morning and 80s all day and night.
SNSN.
All right, good morning. Welcome back to the show, everybody. And we were going to go ahead and start our conversation with the 18th district candidate on the Democratic ticket, Mr. Farouk Rajab. Good morning, sir. And how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's nice to meet you finally. I've seen you on posters,
I'm all over.
Facebook posts, and all kind of stuff. So it's Victoria. Do we still have you there? No, go ahead.
Me?
Yeah, no, I just want to make sure the microphone's still kicking there.
Okay.
It's different than the other studio. I had the microphone set up differently.
Oh.
We used to be in a different studio. We used to be about 4 buildings up.
Yeah, I heard you just moved here recently.
We did, yeah. So I appreciate, I hope you understand the digs are kind of like off camera, so crappy, So, well, on camera, it's still kind of crappy
Lots
too.
to do.
Huh?
Lots to do.
Lots to do. But they say the show must continue, so we've got to continue on.
Yep.
So you're running for the 18th district seat for the Senate, Connecticut State Senate on the Democratic ticket.
Yes, sir.
No, have you ever done anything in politics before? Is this your first foray into?
I don't know.
Into politics?
Do you call boards of ed politics?
No.
They're not political, but
No.
unfortunately you have to run to get on a board of education. So you have to run for it. So that's my what I would call political attempt. I'm on the board of education in Stonington. I'm the chair of the board of ed. But in my private life, I chaired the Connecticut Lodging Association board for a few years. I'm the immediate past chair for the Rhode Island Hospitality Association. I'm also the chair of the board for the Providence Warwick Convention and Visitor Bureau.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't get it, I actually work in Rhode Island, so I live in Stonington, but I work in Providence. So I'm very involved in the, I led the hospitality sector through the pandemic in the state of Rhode Island, and that
had to be difficult.
It was really hard
Challenging.
What was challenging really, Mike, is watching these folks go through it. From business owners to servers, bussers, bartenders. It wasn't easy on our industry, and it was very difficult. And when you lead an industry and you're fighting on behalf of an industry, you all of a sudden become a politician, because you're really what is a politician? Politician is really, in my opinion, a leader who's trying to do more for their community, so they become a politician. So I was fighting on behalf of that industry through the pandemic. Was tough, and it was hard to watch them go through it. Everybody, from owners to employees, it's equally hard on both of them.
Yeah, I think deep down, in one way or another, we're all politicians.
Right, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
people just do it differently, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, like Victoria's on the board of education in her town, and I don't know. I don't really look at it as a political.
It's not supposed to be.
No, I mean, you're running under a political umbrella or a party umbrella.
You can run
unaffiliated. It's an elected position. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's really what makes it, kind of like you're attempting to run for office, right?
Right.
Which is you have to, gather support to volunteer in your community, because really Victoria will tell you it's not easy to be on a board of education, and
it's not easy on yours right now.
Thanks for the reminder, Victoria.
Yeah, there's actually a question already in the chat about that. So, but we'll get to the questions in a minute.
So, if you work in Rhode Island, how are you gonna have the time? With all your boards and everything.
Yeah.
How are you gonna have the time to be in Hartford? And
great question. Yeah,
effectively advocate for your
so I serve on many boards, and I've been exceptionally busy with all those boards, but I have a commitment from my workplace to dedicate as much time as I need to this, from the owners of the business that I work for, and the being representing the 18th is going to require a lot of time. So my commitment is to leave all those boards or committees that I'm on to be able to serve.
Okay. I think that would be difficult, really, of anybody in any profession. Especially when you work full time.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, boom, you're a senator or a state rep or something like that. For the state that you live in. Where do you find the time? In family life? I mean,
I'm lucky that I have the support I have at home. My wife has been very supportive. We have three grown adult boys.
3 boys,
So
yeah.
so they're I don't know. I don't like the word empty nesters, but we are kind of like empty nesters. So we have a lot of commitment to our community, my wife and I. So we're
Yeah.
really she's from day one. When I wanted to do this, I asked her. I said, how do you feel about it? What do you think? And she asked me if I'm ready to run a political campaign, and I said, well, I'm ready to be myself and give it my all to the community, and if they choose to choose me,
Right.
I'll make sure I represent them well.
There's a we're gonna ask him to ask you a couple of questions, from folks, as well. But there's I just want you to know that if you ask a question, I mean, we're going to be respectful of any of the questions. If you're not respectful, then you're going to get the big B word, blocked. So I mean, we are respectful to all of our candidates that come into this building because we're not about picking anybody apart. Republican or Democrat, it doesn't matter. Our goal is to get information out to the constituents in the appropriate district. That way, you can make a better informed voting choice. We're not Howard Stern, so it's
Thankfully.
it's just that's not what we do. So, you had another question. I know you have a bunch of questions. No,
so
I know.
I literally
She's the informed one. I'm going to be honest with you.
I literally went on your website and I checked out all your social media and I found a bunch of podcasts or interviews you've done, and I sat down and wrote some notes.
Did you watch them all?
I watched a lot of them, and
Good.
The funny thing though is I'm on planning and zoning as well in my town, so I was doing some of that yesterday. I had to drive around and look at some things, and I had your podcast.
Don't lie. You don't drive in Sterling. You ride your horse.
No, I left the horse at home.
on.
So that's one of my questions. I grew up on the shoreline.
Yeah.
And I live up here now. I lived in Canterbury for 30 years. Now I live in Sterling, so I'm in your district.
I love Sterling.
So it's a different culture from there to here.
Yeah.
So how are you going to balance that for the constituents? Like, what do you think the priorities are up here, like in Sterling, Griswold, Voluntown?
Basically, how are you going to look at one part of the district to the other part of the district when it's really very, very different culturally?
Yeah.
The challenges we face in the 18th is all the same. I think the ability to support your family. I'm unfortunately I decided to buy a diesel car 3 years ago, and I'm paying for it dearly. So, tell me about it. And to drive to Providence from Stonington every day, right? And to drive on the campaign trail. It's ridiculous if I show you my gas bill. So I live in Stonington, and I have the same struggles that you would have in Sterling. And regardless, of where you live, yes, there is the conversations really change when I go to Sterling and knock on doors. Right?
I think that was the question.
Yeah,
really.
the conversations really change, but
the
the challenges are the same. I think we try to I hate the word they or we, but we sometimes divide ourselves more than we should, right? We try to say, oh, I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican. I had so many good conversations at doors in Moose Hub with Republicans where they said to me, the first thing they say to me, I'm a Republican. And I'm like, great. Well, we're all American. Let's have this conversation. Let's have a conversation about what your aspirations are, what your challenges are. And when we talk, I find that they have the same aspirations I have for my children. They have for their children. So, when we talk about the culture changes, or we're still in Connecticut, we're still in America, right?
Well, I noticed on one of the things I was listening to, you had a little bit different opinion from your party about like our rainy day fund. You think we should dip into it so we can help the area with some of their financial struggles. And that's not really a Democrat?
I'm
kind of?
listen. I'm Farouk
So
Rajab.
how are you gonna?
You know, and I, you know, I'm not denying I'm a Democrat, right?
Right.
In this conversation, but I've been always me, myself,
Yeah.
and that's what you know. When I went to say I want to run for office, people ask me like, who told you? Like, who convinced you?" And I'm like, nobody, because nobody owns me. No, you know, I own my
So
own
are you
self.
going to be able to go against your party when you get to Hartford?
You bet.
Okay.
You bet on that.
Good.
If you're a betting lady, you can bet on that.
I
And
bet on ponies once in a while.
but I'm you know, and it's different because sometimes they say, well, this is what you say today. It's different what you do there, and I'll prove myself that I'm my own person. And it's not about anti-democratic party or anti-republican party. For the people, like what I
Right.
aspire for is what you aspire
Yep.
for. What we want is the same thing,
Yep.
and we just need to be true to ourselves, right? And not, you know, hey, listen, the party didn't help me with anything. I'll tell you that.
Nice.
Like no money, no nothing. Nobody owes me anything. You know, number of contributions that I
Right.
have are from my family, from my supporters. Not a penny, okay, from a party
Wow.
came to my campaign, and I'm proud of this. I'm proud of me fighting for you, for me. I
Right.
don't fight for Democrats.
Right.
I'm not gonna go to Hartford and say, "Well, this is good for Democrats. Let's do it." It's good for us together, all of us. That's really the key for anybody who runs for office or wants to
Right.
be in office. Is be yourself. Go there and vote what is good for Sterling. What is good for because what's good for Sterling and Plainfield and Griswold is good for Stonington and Gripe. It really is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean,
For
he
the
would know
most
that
part.
too because you used to live down there, and
Yeah,
now you live
yeah,
up this way.
yeah.
So.
Where did
It's
you
just
live?
it's very different. North Stonington.
North Stonington. Oh,
Yeah,
great.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
How did you get into the hospitality industry?
Pure luck. And I needed a job. You know, as an immigrant to the U.S., I have a degree in finance, but like I want to work in the bank, and um, I was in the country, I think, for a whole 4 days, 5 days, and
No.
somebody offered me a job, and it was cooking, and
Can you cook?
I didn't know how to cook, how to fry an egg, to be honest with you. But I was like,
I'm
it's a
terrible.
job. Yeah, now I'm good, by the way. At least my wife likes my cooking. So,
All matters.
yeah, I got offered a job as a cook on a traveling fair, and I did that for a while. A while is 10 days, and then somebody met me. I met this person who said to me, you know, this is not a career. You should go after a career. I said, what do you suggest? And he said, hotels. He worked in hotels, and he said to me, listen, I'll give you a job as a host in a restaurant in one of the hotels I work at. And that was my start in hospitality as a host in a restaurant. And I believe, and I was raised like, hard work pays off.
Sure.
And make a commitment and give it your all. And I give it my all. I do my best. I give it everything, and it pays off. Pure coincidence, Mike, but it led me very quickly to many positions.
That happens.
Ah,
You know, I mean, I worked in retail for 25 years before I ventured back in here. I thought I was done with broadcasting, and all of a sudden, nervous breakdown. And here I am.
Midlife crisis?
That's it. I know,
Midlife
Victoria,
crisis.
you have a couple other questions,
Um,
as I have a couple as well. But
well, one of the things that's an issue, like I would say more up here than
just to her point, I think she's more concerned like with up here, the northern part of the district,
right.
You know, because this is where we live,
And this is where a lot of our listeners are
Right.
from. So one of the important things up in this area is our Second Amendment.
Mhm.
And you had said on your website that you want more gun control. What specifically do you want? Because we already have like the strictest gun control in the country.
Yeah, and I'm proud of what Connecticut did, and I'm proud of supporting the Second Amendment. Personally, I'm a gun owner,
Mhm.
and I'm proud of that. And it's because it's exercising your right. Now, I don't hunt. I like target practice. I like skeet shooting. That's what I really enjoy. And I don't hunt because I don't know. I don't have it in me to kill anything, including like when my wife asked me to, if there's like a spider, I try to catch it and release it
You
outside.
can't kill them either.
I don't know
Well,
why.
it makes-
Yes, you
But
can.
It makes it rain. It
Yeah.
makes it rain.
yeah. So it's not about gun control. I think really that we want all of us want responsible gun owners. We witnessed what just happened in Bristol, and that's not
Very
right.
unfortunate.
It's
Incredibly
very unfortunate,
yeah.
and we lost two brave men that night, and that's what worries me. Right, what worries me is those instances, and we need to be in support of the people who are protecting us, and we need to have that fashion of gun control. I'm not talking about gun control like let's take anybody's, because nobody, I don't want anybody taking my guns, right? So I just don't want anybody taking your guns, because I'm a responsible gun owner. I lock my guns, I carry them responsibly, and I do what would a
And it's got nothing to do with being part of a party.
that has
Right.
nothing to do. I think
But-
what you want is what I want. That's what I keep
But when you
saying.
say you want more gun control, what
I-
what
I-
is the more?
So I don't know if more. I want every state to do what we do in Connecticut. If we're doing it here, they should do it in Minnesota, or they should do it so that we're all equal on the same playing field. That's really my vision for the future.
It's very difficult too, as being a gun owner, to go from Connecticut to Massachusetts to New York, and if something happens, they have totally different gun laws.
They do.
Who knows? You're going to get in trouble, somewhere in Idaho.
Or pick any state in the Midwest, and
Yeah.
the process of owning a gun in the Midwest is very different than the process of owning a gun in Connecticut, and you know that, right? And it's really, it's not fair to us in Connecticut what happens in anywhere else, and I just want that equal treatment, I guess, in my mind.
So speaking of police, let's kind of go down that rabbit hole a little bit.
Yeah.
Police Accountability Act.
Mhm.
That right there has been an incredible hot button.
Yeah.
In Connecticut,
Mhm.
really since its inception, and when they started talking about it. And I know they're not pulling anybody over.
Yep.
But then again, you look at what happened in Bristol.
Yep.
And it's tragic.
It is very tragic.
So what do we do?
So
where are you on the Police Accountability Act?
Mhm.
Well, I'll just let you speak on it. Go right ahead.
Sure. So when I first decided to run for this office, my first call was to my police chief, and I said, "Hey, I want to run for office. I want to meet with you and talk about police accountability bill." And then I met with another police chief, and then another, and and then I met with many police officers, and I sat down with them and I listened to them. So, in their words, not mine, there are many good things in the police accountability bill that they wanted and they encouraged, but there are many other things that they would like to see changed and corrected.
What's one of the things they want to see changed?
It's that whole, what's holding them back, right, from pulling over or knocking on doors, because I've listened to a police officer who sat with me and said, we know this house is selling drugs and we can do nothing about it, and we should allow them to do something about it. Now, we want responsible police officers, which we have many. Majority of police officers in the entire country are very responsible police officers, and they do it for the right reasons, right? They serve for the right reasons, and we should give them the power to serve in the right reasons. The police accountability bill has good things and has things that should be corrected, and it just happens that we can correct these things by having these meetings, just what I did, right? On a smaller scale, we should do it on a bigger scale. And there are, Greg Howard in Stonington.
I was going to ask you about is he one of the police officers that you spoke to?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
because he's going to, if you win your seat, he's also, he's a state rep.
He's a state rep, and I called, and Greg and I talk for different reasons. We talk because I'm on the board of education. He's very passionate. He has two children in the school system, and we're always conversing through COVID. I think I was on his speed dial. And it was like A. I think my name was A, so it's the first number on his. So because he was passionate, and we had a great conversations. We had a great conversations about COVID and the process of COVID and how we went through that. and we had great conversations about police accountability bill. He's passionate about it. His chief was passionate about it. And it's those things that we should do more of, right? It's listening to different perspective, different points of view, and come out with what is good for all of us, right? That's really what I'm passionate about, Mike. Is really not. I don't stick to like, oh, it's a Democratic agenda or it's a Republican agenda. It should be an American agenda, right? It's what's good for all of us.
I'm thinking I'm getting that picture from you is that even though you're running on the Democratic, tell me if I'm wrong, you're running on the Democratic ticket, but you're pretty close to the aisle, like most local, and I have to say politicians because that's really what it is. Most do. They sit on the aisle, and there's not a lot of difference. It's not like there's one thing that kind of irks me a little bit, and this has nothing to do with local stuff, but like the governor.
Yeah.
Every time something happens, that say President Biden does or Biden edicts something, Lamont has to write a letter of support. Now it's like it kind of bothers me because it's kind of like, is he really just looking for a job in Washington someday? But it's like he's always, when it comes to like local politics, whether it's a town manager situation or a first selectman board or a board of selectmen or whatever, it's so much different.
Yeah,
it's so much different. People are like, you talk to yourself, you talk to a Heather Summers or a Greg Howard, whoever. A lot of people are just really right in the middle there, and they're really concerned with what citizens want instead of big money politics down the road.
I have no aspirations other than serving the 18th in Victoria. You watched a lot of my interviews, right? When I was asked about President Biden performance, what did I give him? Did you watch that?
6.
It was a 6. Good. You watched. Thank you.
I told you she was the informed one.
Oh my God, you've done your research. So
and that was from what is Potluck Politics?
Potluck Politics. Wow, I'm very impressed. She did. So why? I'm impressed. Mike,
Potluck Politics?
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna have a sandwich and eat while I'm watching that show.
No, not really.
No,
not really.
No.
But
it wasn't as fun as our show.
Oh,
we're fun.
I agree.
We're really fun. It's gonna be really fun.
So that's coffee, right?
Yes, that's coffee.
But it's if you ask me, I was asked how his performance was. I gave him a 6.
Yeah, but then again, you thought our governor was doing a good job.
Was better than the president's?
No, maybe. In some respects, but
yeah, it's perspective, right?
Yeah.
So it's perspective.
Yeah.
A couple of people have asked in this, and I think this is a very, very relevant question, and it's one that gets asked quite a bit. Is what is your view on new vaccine mandates for children?
It's tough. Like I want everybody protected, right? I personally took the vaccine because I was scared because my wife, was worried for her health.
Whatever personal reasons you had.
Yeah, I had a personal reason. I took the vaccine. Now, there are religious exemptions. There are people who cannot take the vaccine. I actually took the 3rd vaccine booster, and people asked me why I didn't take the 4th booster. It's my body. I never got COVID. Knock on wood, right? But and strangely enough, I never got COVID in my line of work. But every time I took it was not easy. But in every time I took the vaccine, I was out for 2 days, like very, very sick.
Yeah.
And I don't know why my body reacted the way it did to the vaccine, but I think it's a decision that is vaccines. I believe in vaccines personally. If you ask me if it was my child, would I give them a vaccine? I would give them the vaccine. I would tell you that one of my children did not take the vaccine. He made
We do have adult children.
Adult child. But he said to me, "Dad, I don't want to take it." I gave him an advice, and he said, "I don't want to take it." And I said, "That's your decision." Now, if you are talking about children, I recognize your question was under the age of 18, not my adult child. I think that's a decision for the family and for their doctors.
Okay. You I know you well you have a whole laundry
No,
list
I
there.
do. I'm getting there.
Come on,
I'm good.
Victoria, you did your research.
Look at that.
Oh,
He's,
look at it, yeah.
look, the man's baiting you. He's baiting. He's like,
I'm
bring
not.
it on.
Okay.
Because this is who you're gonna get here
Okay,
today and in
so-
Hartford.
Your website, you say you support policing reform and meaningful criminal justice reforms. So does that mean you support getting rid of cash bail?
Here's can I tell you a personal story,
Sure.
Victoria? One of my adult children 3 weeks ago, he's a very trusty kid. So he goes to the gym, right? He never locked his locker. So he goes to the gym, he leaves his car keys in the locker, right? And exercises. Goes, opens the locker, no car keys. Goes outside, no car. He calls me, right? He had to find somebody to call me because he had no glasses. His glasses are in his car.
Oh, jeez.
It gets worse. His wallet is in his car.
Oh.
His ID, all his credit cards, debit cards,
Oh.
everything. He left everything in his car. He went to the gym with his keys and his cell phone because he's got to listen to music, right? His car gets stolen. This kid's life, like I had to Venmo him $200 to go through the next few days. He had to cancel all his credit cards, all his debit cards. His car wasn't found until 2 days ago, all banged up. He had to go lease a car, which he really didn't need to lease a car. He could barely, he works 2 jobs to make things. Do you think that was right? What he was put through,
Of course not.
What did that thief, benefit from stealing a car and drive?
Oh.
He took his wallet, ripped it apart, threw it out of a window. This lady calls him, says, "Hey, I found your business card, and I found your driver license." So he went around the street, walked around the block to find his. You know what he was looking for? Picture with his brothers when he was 6 years old. That was his prized possession that was in his wallet that he was looking for. But it's not the just about the sentimental pieces that were in his car, his reading glasses that he had to go buy new reading glasses. It's about that. There has to be accountability. There has to be accountability.
Okay. Are you satisfied with that answer, or
Didn't really answer it.
okay?
I mean, are you in favor of cash bail or no?
I'm
Are you against it?
I'm in favor of every person that does a crime. That's a crime.
Mhm.
Must be accountable.
Okay.
Good.
Sean, who has blown up the chat room.
Hi, Sean. Is it good blown up or?
He has questions.
It's the Sean show. Let's put it that way. Would you have voted against the vaccine mandate bill?
I don't know, Sean. I didn't read the vaccine mandate bill, to be honest with you.
Well, you're honest. I mean, that's
that.
There you go.
And it's hard to give an answer on something you didn't read.
Yeah.
I didn't read it, Sean. Sorry, but I promise you this: that every bill that I vote on, I'll read it, understand it, and then vote on it. Because part of the issue is that there's so many bills that get pushed down party line. One party wants to push a bill, and that goes for both parties, by the way, right? They push bills because they think it's what they want to do. They just think things what that will win them votes.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, we have to pay for it.
Right.
And we have to recognize it's both parties doing this to us, guys.
Yep.
We really need to be conscientious of this. And my commitment to Sean is that I'll read every bill.
Victoria?
I'm good.
Now you got something else.
Oh,
I know
come
you
on,
got
Victoria.
something.
There's something there.
No.
I can't see this
think-
far. I'm old.
We were talking
Victoria.
about wrestling earlier.
Wrestling?
He's like, come on!
No wrestling, Victoria.
No, I don't do that.
But thank you. You know why I appreciate actually is that you've done your research and
I'll be honest with you.
yes, ma'am.
Uh-oh.
I'm a registered
Jesus.
Republican.
Beautiful.
So, I mean,
Maybe you'll consider me.
I
Victoria.
just felt that in order to be fair And
we ask the same questions of everybody.
No,
You know,
listen.
and I wanted to know where you stood, like what you said you stood for versus maybe what you said.
Yeah.
You know, in person.
This is what you will get today, tomorrow, and forever.
Mhm.
You know, this is the person, and it's not. You know, I implore you to recognize that it's not a party issue. About us. It's about the people of the 18th, and we continue to fight in Hartford over party issues,
Right.
and I'm just tired of it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of people voting party lines or voting of what pleases this party or that party.
Well, and the other thing I think we have an issue with is, like our governor keeps saying, "Oh, I'm giving tax cuts." Well, the tax cuts are for next year, and I'm giving more money for SNAP, and I'm giving more money for this for
No,
the
but nobody's
heating.
giving me more money.
Nobody's giving me any money
Do you
because
want
my
to ask
husband
me?
works hard.
Me too. Do you want to ask me what's my first bill, Victoria?
What is your first bill?
I gave her the question.
I'll give you all my bills.
No, thank you.
That's a different bill.
But first bill I'll sponsor, eliminating the gas tax,
How about the diesel tax?
including that I drive diesel.
My son had to park his truck.
I drive diesel.
I mean, he has a beautiful truck and he cannot drive it because
Too
diesel.
expensive.
It's almost $7 a gallon now.
Do you know what so my 19-year-old son goes to the University of Syracuse.
Mhm.
My wife made an executive decision that he cannot take his car with him on freshman year,
Right.
and then
Well, that's a good
sophomore
idea.
year, and then she gave in just last weekend. But for a while, right, where his car was home, I was driving his car. I was driving his car that is, 15 years old, has 270,000 miles on it, and I'm fine, and with no AC. AC is broken. Find out because it was gas, it wasn't diesel.
Right.
Because it was so hard, and it continues to be hard. Yesterday, it was $128 to fill my diesel tank.
Yep.
It's
Oh, I filled my tank yesterday. It was
when you asked me earlier, and you skipped the question about the rainy day fund. Everybody's like, "Oh no, you can't just spend." It's rainy for us. It's
Right.
rainy for you. It's
Yeah.
rainy for me. When is rainy day fund spent on? What? When? Isn't that a good question we should ask our politicians?
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I forget, when you ask people that are in Hartford, whether it's a rep or a state senator, is no matter what party you're in, when you say what you just said, it's $28,000 a year. It's not like they're getting rich, on
their
doing
salaries,
this, on this kind of salary.
Yeah.
So I'm not arguing with you, not at all, because I get what you're saying, but I've been around, a lot of the different people that have been running for the last, almost just about a decade now, and I talked to them off microphone, and it's like they're not, nobody's doing this because they're cashing in.
Right.
So when you say, about, the diesel and what you're paying and what Brian Lanou, who's a Republican, says, stuff like that. It's the same thing.
I got to meet that guy, by the way. Brian
he's
Lanou.
great. He's great.
He has the most signs of anybody in the world.
Yes. Yes, he does.
Heather said that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Said that.
Yeah.
But the guy is everywhere.
Yeah.
I think he's even outside his district based on my drive.
He walked, but he goes. You should see him do doors. He literally broke his shoulder doing doors. 2 dogs chased him.
Yeah.
Oh
He
my
was
God.
running and fell and broke his shoulder.
I had that happen to me
Yeah.
in Musab.
He did doors.
I think it was
I
the
had
same dogs.
in Musab. Was he in Musab?
Yeah.
Oh my
I think
God!
so.
I had a dog go after me in Musab, and I froze. And dogs usually like me. This dog just got to me and stood there, and I was like a statue. I'm never scared
so
of
you
dogs.
gotta
I was
start-
scared.
You got to start carrying some dog treats.
I
when you
know.
do it.
I know. Somebody
And you
said that to
just
me.
take 'em and you throw them in that way. They
I was so
Take a ball.
scared, but good thing I was knocking doors actually with a friend of mine in Musab who's from Plainfield, and she said to me, "Freeze!" and I froze, and I was like so scared. And I'm not scared of dogs, but that dog was big.
What'd you think of the driveways in Sterling?
I had great conversations actually in Sterling.
Yeah.
I had really good conversations, and and some people were asking me questions, and I asked. I said, would you vote for me? Like, would you? And they said they wouldn't vote for me just based on the fact that I have a D next to my name. Well, I
it's
convinced
a
one
very
of them,
Republican town.
and I convinced one
It
of them
is.
he's going to write me in. He's going to write me in. So that's a win.
There's
But
there's a lot. I mean, Eastern Connecticut as a whole is very
Yeah.
Republican.
Yeah.
Victoria might consider me. No, okay.
I'm not.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
It's this side of the river. I mean, it's very, very red.
Yeah.
But the thing is there's not a lot of votes here, as far as the state is concerned. But as far as local stuff, it works.
I know. I'm just tired of red and blue, guys.
Well,
I really, it's just
everybody is.
It's just about us. It's like what's good for us as a totality.
Yeah. Term limits.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about term limits? What's your stand there?
I think we should have term limits.
Okay.
Do I have a vote in that? Can I vote somewhere?
Yeah. What is your like, for example, state senator? How many terms do you think it's a 2-year term? Should it be 1 term, 4 years? Should it be 2 at 2 or? What do you think?
First of all, I don't think 2 years is a good idea. I think 4 years is a better idea for state senate.
Okay.
And probably 2 years term limit.
Okay.
Two terms.
Two
Two
terms?
terms, not
So
2
8
years.
years.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I do too.
Brian Lanou said the same thing.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, exact same thing.
But you know why 4, not 2?
Because it takes that long to get anything done.
And
Yeah.
yes, and
And then
campaigning.
if it's 2 years and it changes,
Yeah.
the person changes, then you got to start all over.
And the other thing is, like, I think this campaigning is not easy.
No.
It takes
It takes a lot of your time.
It takes a lot of your time. I am so grateful for my work and for my family that this morning my wife said, you're getting a lot of break from me. But it's really like if we are there for 4 years, you can get things accomplished.
Mhm.
If I'm not doing my job after 4 years, fire me. If you don't agree with me, let me go. And then, bring somebody else that can do the job. And
Right.
after 8 years, no, you need to go home.
Let's see.
Is that a Republican or a Democrat?
I will not say.
Okay, I didn't know. I really.
We talked about the diesel tax.
Yeah.
How about state income tax?
That
is something that Weicker put in.
Yes.
And they said it was going to go. Yeah, it was going to go away, and then it never went away.
I don't think it can go away today. All right. I think we have to work towards that. Right. But there's so
We've
many
been doing
other.
that for 40 years.
Yeah, there's so many other taxes that need to go away first, right? Including.
We pay sales tax when we buy a vehicle,
Mhm.
and then we pay tax every year on the car.
Yeah.
And then we pay sales tax on the food we eat, sales tax on the gas.
But
mean-
Victoria knows I want to eliminate the car tax, right, Victoria?
It's insane.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Really? By the way,
My car with
my
almost-
grandma's name is Victoria.
Oh.
Plus,
Good name.
See?
that's a plus.
My car with almost 300,000 miles.
Mhm.
My taxes this year are almost $600 on that vehicle.
Ridiculous.
Are you kidding me?
And they're going to go up.
Yeah.
Because the value of
been
the cars
going
went up. It's crazy.
And I put 30, 40,000 miles a year on it, and the value keeps rising. It's insane.
I'm committed to work towards eliminating the car tax.
Executive orders.
Mm.
I don't think
breathe in.
anybody more than a Victoria and I suffered through executive orders. What is the question? You said executive orders and stop, Mike.
What you're feeling about them? What you're feeling about executive orders?
I
And Lamont
struggled
just
with them.
saying, we're doing this today.
I believe they have a place, but there's a limit to that, right? So they have a place in certain
Do you think
circumstances.
Governor Lamont went too far with his executive orders during the pandemic?
We're still in the pandemic according to his emergency orders.
Whatever.
Sorry.
Do you think he went too far? Do you think he overstepped?
On certain issues, he did. Yes, that's why he got an 8.
I'm trying to sift through. I'm gonna ask you the same thing I ask everybody: Roe versus Wade. That's a hot topic. That's a hot button.
That's a hot button. I am I don't think anybody has the right to tell women what to do with their bodies. Now, there's two different issues here. Do I believe, abortion is the right thing to do, or do I believe that there should be a law telling women what to do? That those two different issues, and I don't like that when people mix them up.
Mhm.
If it was me, I would never put a law on the books that tells a woman what to do, or a man,
Right.
and with their health.
Right.
Right. So that's my stand on that.
Victoria, you're thinking.
No, I'm staying on another one.
No, what you got?
Well, I think that answer. I mean, that answer was spoken like a true politician.
Why?
So, are you pro-life or pro-choice?
I don't I don't agree with that statement, Victoria, because would I want any baby that's carried to be seen through and be born? Yes, but I will never tell a woman what to do with her body. They're two different issues. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's a decision that my wife would make. She might ask my opinion. I would give her my opinion. I would support her, right? But I would never put a law on the books. No.
But our governor wants us to be a destination state for abortions. It's part of his tourism.
I don't think so. No, I think that's an extreme opinion from
No,
like it's not a destination.
He said this.
I
He
don't
said
know.
this. We could be a destination state for abortion. So
I
mean,
out of context, in my opinion. I think telling women what to do with their body is not something I will entertain ever.
Let's see. So time is running short, and I just want to go.
I cleared my calendar for you.
I got about 6 more hours. Let's go.
Oh,
Victoria,
I've got stuff to do.
How will you try to implement universal health care regionally? How would you try to implement universal health care regionally?
My dream, I'll share my dream with you, is that no one in Connecticut has to choose between going to the doctor or buying food that day. And these choices are being made, by the way, because affordability of healthcare is out of control. Now, some people dream of the Canadian model, right? Where there's no healthcare cost, there's nothing. I don't think we can be there today, tomorrow, or any day in the near future. However, I think we can cap the cost of healthcare. We can put a limit, and it could be a limit of what you make on an annual basis.
Okay.
Victoria?
He's looking at you.
No, I this isn't me. This is his answer.
No. I didn't know if you had a caveat.
I'm not going to give my opinion.
Okay.
Trying really hard here, Mike.
Thank you.
That's why I asked you what I asked you yesterday.
He was like, "Can you behave?" Like, yeah,
no. Listen, I accept a different opinion, right?
Well,
and I'm open for it. I'm open for listening to you.
Right.
So if you disagree with me, say it to me.
Okay.
Well.
I'm trying to, because I know some of them go, why didn't you ask him this? Why
Well,
didn't you ask him that? There, like, for example, there have been a couple of questions about you being on the Board of Ed.
Yes, sir.
And a couple of things. And I don't think this is about the Board of Ed.
No, it's not.
So I kind of skipped right over that. I think there are other issues, whether you like the answer or you don't like the answer. These are the ones we're going to ask that are state affecting.
No, I think that one issue that's lingering in Stonington, that could be considered a state issue as well. I mean,
okay.
If he's talking about part of your platform is education, then that could be, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that's a reach. If you can find it.
Yeah, let me look here. We did term limits. We talked a little state income tax. It's hard to see. We can take some of these subjects and we can do an hour on each individual one.
Yeah.
So no matter who the candidate is that we have in the hot seat, no matter what we ask them, it's
it's almost not fair, unless you have, if you're going to deal with 2 or 3 issues and talk about that
Right.
for an hour, an hour and a half.
Yeah, the debate would be good.
So.
Victoria ignored me on that one.
Oh,
masking. What do you? How are you on masking? What's your?
And it's on record, Victoria. I can go back and see it. That I said that the minute the executive order is lifted on masks, I will be the first one to take the mask off.
Okay.
It's on record. You did your research.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and ask this because you said this is relevant, Victoria. So here we go. Why did the Board of Education chair wait so long to take action on the flag issue? Now, I apologize. I don't know what the flag issue is, but I'm assuming.
Define, like, is that a question online?
Yeah.
What does it mean by it took so long to take action? Because I disagree.
Why was there not a special meeting last week?
Last week, the issue came to the board on Thursday. Just for the record, Thursday, October 13th, that issue came up to the board. So at a regular meeting. So these things cannot be simplified. They cannot be used for political gain. The flag issue, the pride flag issue in a classroom has to be thoughtfully discussed.
Mm-hmm.
It's been discussed. It's getting discussed. And here, my commitment to Stonington people is that I will have a special meeting for the Board of Ed on Tuesday. I haven't announced this. Here's your announcement right here.
Okay.
Because if you had your regular meeting on the 13th of October, you want me to hold a special meeting before getting to hear from everybody is not the right thing to do. I need to hear from board members, from administration, from teachers union, and that's all I'm going to say about that issue. I did my due diligence in researching it since the 13th to today, and my commitment to the people of Stonington is I'll hold a Board of Education special meeting on Tuesday.
Okay. The other thing I'm going to do is the ones that we were not able to ask here because of time constraints. Right. I'm going to get them over to Mr. Cherry.
Yeah, Anthony.
So we can get them over to you, so you can reach out to these people.
I'd love to.
Whatever. So that way you can go ahead and answer them individually.
Yeah.
Okay. And these are going to be people that are. I'm just basically going to take with their names, a transcript and send it over. So.
No, we would love to get back to everybody and answer all the questions.
Okay. So if you didn't get the question, asked today, or you didn't get the answer that maybe you liked or whatever, you're going to get the opportunity. We'll send them over to for so he can do that. So I'm going to give you the same opportunity that I've given every candidate that has come in here. Let me. I'm going to go ahead and reposition the camera. Hold up.
What are we doing? What are we doing, Victoria?
You do your own. You get 2 minutes to give a spiel, and it's all you.
Oh, got it.
So there you are, Farouk. You are centered in the camera. You're the only one on the screen. We're going to back out, and you get 2 minutes. And here's the last question. Why do I or anybody vote for Farouk Rajab?
Because for the last 3 decades, I fought for my family to have a better future. And my commitment to the 18th is I will fight for you to have a better future. My commitment to you is I'll bring everybody to the table and have a conversation and listen to all sides of the equation and come up with an answer that is the right answer for us, for the people. It's not about a party. It's not about partisanship. It's about our future. I want to retire in Connecticut, and I want you to have the same opportunity. I want my children and your children to live in the state and have affordable place to live, work, and raise the next generation. And why you should vote for me? Because if I'm in office and after a term or two, I'm not doing what I'm committed to, fire me. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for your time today. And I know you're have to take it off of work and everything and come on down. Get Victoria back in here. Your new best friend.
I know.
There we go.
I didn't get a commitment from Victoria.
Anyway, Farouk, thank you very much for
Thanks,
coming on
Mike.
in. I appreciate your time. Pleasure. All right.
Victoria,
All right.
it was nice
So
meeting you. Thank you.
he's running for the 18th district senatorial seat here in Connecticut. This will remain online, so you can go ahead and review it as you wish. And then we'll get the transcript over to you so that you can reach out to people.
Thank you
with
very
questions
much.
that we didn't talk about.
Have a great day.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for being part of the show today. We always love it when you're here. Have a great day, everyone, and we will talk to you tomorrow once again right here at SNSM.
We love the 80s.
Your home for all 80s all the time.
Always got music.